All right, today I'm going to be showing you how to set up Ableton Live for a Sunday morning service at Journey Church in Gillette, Wyoming. The first thing we're going to do is come over here to Ableton Live Worship Sets. All right, you're going to see a few different folders in here. One is for Sunday, one's for Night of Worship. Celebrate Recovery has one here. In this instance, we want to go Sunday, Sunday template, and then double click to open this template here. It's going to have sections for 4 songs, some sections for light cues. Sometimes you'll see this message that pops up says audio is disabled. So when we get into Ableton, we will go ahead and enable our audio output so that we can hear what's going on. So you can see down here, it's got this red, so we can just click this section if we want to. And audio output says no device. In this instance, while we're building the tracks, we're just going to go to built-in output so we can hear what we're doing. Okay, so the Sunday we are currently building for is November 19th of 2023. And so before I do anything else, I'm going to go ahead and save live set as. I don't want to accidentally save over my template and cause that to be messed up in any way. So I'm going to click 2023. I'm going to triple click that so it highlights, and then type in the date, make sure I'm in Sunday, and you can see it'll be right under the last one we did. I'm going to hit save, and up here it changes the title. Now, one thing I want to do is go over to Planning Center so that I can see what songs are going to be in for this service. So once you log into your Planning Center account, you'll be able to see all the different organizations that you're a part of, but then we'll be able to see the entire set list for, usually I put them out a month in advance. And so we'll see about a month's worth of services here. So in this case, like I said, it's November 19th. I'm just going to click that and it's going to start loading all of the stuff for this. So I've got all of my songs right here, my announcements, all this good stuff. But what I really want to focus on is this right here. It says, Peace be still in the key of E. If you just kind of click off to the side here and you needed to change that, you could easily do that right in here. But in this case, we're going to stick with that key. We're going to stick with this arrangement. You can see there's 2 versions of this song. The one we're going to do is that one right there. And for some reason it changed it to that, but we want it in the key of E for this week. So you'll see it says saved up there. We'll close out of that. So Peace be still is the key of E. So I'm going to come over here to this. It's called a stack. You can see how if you undo that, you've got all these different tracks in here. So I'm going to close that stack and I'm going to hit Command R, and that's going to allow me to rename it. And so here's how I like to do it. In all capitals, I'll put E in parentheses so I know the key. And the song is Peace Be Still. And then we can look over, we have Grace to Grace in the key of E as well. So Command R for rename, E, we'll go Grace to Grace. Then I'm going to click back over here. We see Gratitude is the key of G. So I'm going to go here, Command R, G, Gratitude. And then the final song is Give Me Jesus in the key of C. So same thing, Command R, parentheses, C, Give Me Jesus. So just double check, E, E, G, C. I've got E, E, G, and C. Perfect. All right, now you can see that if I take this, I'm just holding it and moving the mouse back and forth. It allows me to zoom in. You see it says playlist 3. That's exactly what we want, because if you look at our set here, you'll see scrolling announcements is 1. This is playlist 2, and Peace Be Still starts on playlist 3. So that's what we want for that playlist 3. Okay, and we know the song is Peace Be Still, and we're doing TBCO's version. And okay, we're doing it in the key of E, which is right here. So that's how I sort all these things. It's by artist. And so you can click this down, then you'll see different songs in here. In this case, the only one we do by TBCO is Peace Be Still. And then you find the key. So here's the key of G, and then here's the key of E. I do have this one down here that says Peace Be Still short. Don't worry about that right now because I'm going to show you how to edit the tracks from inside of Ableton itself. So I click that down. Now we have this folder that says multi-tracks, and the first thing we're going to find is click track. And we're going to drag this up to the top, and you see it's got to be in line with this number one right here. Everything we drag for song number one will be on this line right here, okay? So we've got our click track. I'm going to double click on that little green area, and then this is very important. You hit warp and you type in the beats per minute. It's 72.5. So I'm going to go 72.5, enter, and then I'm going to hit that follower button so it turns to leader. Okay, that's what we want there. Now you can kind of drag this out and see, okay, it messed with that a little bit. That's perfect. That's exactly what we need. We're going to shorten this song a little more anyways, but I just wanted to zoom out and show you kind of what it does. The next thing we need, so we have our click there. Now we need to add in our cues, or our guide. In this case, we call it the guide. And when we do the guide, like that, we should be able to just click this one, hit spacebar, and you'll hear how everything lines up. So we can hear how everything is on that guide because everything's been warped. So now we want to take Peace Be Still and expand it out. So we have all these empty spots now for audio. That is where all of our tracks are going to go, not our click and not our cues. We don't want them in there. They have to go up here so that the audience doesn't hear them. We only want the audience to hear the tracks. And so what I like to do is I come over here, click on one, and then I come down to all the ones I'm going to use. I'm not going to use the tenor one, so I just deselect that. But I start with just my top one here, and I come all the way down. I hold shift and then I click, and that's how all of them get selected. And then if I don't want certain tracks like soprano, I'm going to hold command and then click that. And I can continue to hold command while I deselect the ones I don't want. So I don't want the guide, I don't need the click track or the alto. I am going to drag everything else then though. So I'm going to let go of command for now. I'm going to grab this little icon with the mouse pad and just drag it over. Now, before I let go, you have to hold command again. You see how it stacks them all out. If I was to do it right here, it would just drop them all in a line and they would be all over the place. But I want them all on that line number one. So I hold command, then I let go of my mouse, and then I let go of command. So very important you do that. Let's try that again. So you come over here and you hold down on your mouse pad. You drag it to the line that you want it on. You hold command, let go of your mouse pad, and then let go of command. So that's how you do that. Then I'm going to click this little button to minimize that. And so now you can see we have all of our tracks down here. And we have some extras here too. So all I'm going to do is highlight this one and push delete, 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 and get rid of just all the extras that we have right there. So these are the ones that we have. We may not use all these tracks for Sunday, but this will be the same set list that Celebrate Recovery is going to use on Tuesday. And so I can just click right there to mute the drums, but I can turn them on right there as well. So we have all of our songs in there. So I'm going to minimize that stack. And for this song in particular, we do a shorter version of the song. And so I'm going to hit Command S to save, okay? Or you can go up here and go File, Save Live Set, but I already did that with the shortcut, that Command S. And we're going to go back to our Planning Center service here. We're going to look at Peace Be Still. I'm just going to click on the side, and then I'm going to click on the title of it here, and it's actually going to show us all of the times we've done this arrangement of this song. So since a year ago, these are all the dates we've done it. The last one I want to look for, though, is July 9th, Sunday service, okay? I know we did a shorter version of this song that day, so I want to find the lyric cues, okay, for July 9th. So now that we know it's July 9th, I'm going to click on Finder here, go back to my Ableton Live worship sets, Sunday for the 2023 year, and then it was July 9th, okay? So I'm going to double click that, and it's going to open up that set from July 9th. And you can see in here that Peace Be Still was our second song that we did. So I'm going to push number 2, and you see it's going to pull me over to this section here. For now, I'm just going to move this little guy over. We don't need slide 55 for this, okay? And then I push 2 because it's going to line me up right on that line. You see that? I push 2, boom, it automatically goes there. I'm going to expand this out. Then I'm going to hold down Shift and the right arrow over, and you're going to see it's going to start highlighting all these things. Pretty awesome. Okay, and then I'm going to zoom in right in this little section up here. I'm going to click, hold it down, and then zoom in. And you can see, okay, slide number 36 will be our last one, but it clicked a little bit of that slide 1. So I'm going to hold Shift again, and then hit the left arrow key. And you see it kind of deselects all that. And I just want to do that. So I've got all that. I'm going to hit Command C, and that's going to copy. Or you can come up here and go Edit, Copy. Okay? Then we're going to go back to File. You're going to open a recent set, and we're going to see that right here is 1119, the set we were just working on. So I'm going to click on that. So do you want to save changes? I always hit Don't Save, just in case I need to grab tracks for the other song, and I want those to line up well. So, okay, so it's going to load the set we were just working on. I'm going to click this little arrow next to Slides, and then over here, I just clicked into the same area as Slides, and now I'm going to push 1. And when I did that, you see it put everything right back on our number 1 line. Now we can go Edit and Paste. And it's going to put all of our slide cues into this line. These slide cues are going to trigger the slides in ProPresenter and tell them what we want them to do. But hey, check this out. There is a lot of slides that aren't showing up here. Right? What happened? Well, like I said before, we did a shorter version of this song. We do about a 5-minute version instead of an 8.5-minute version. And so right in this area will actually be our very last slide. And so I'm going to show you now how to shorten down these tracks so that they can be edited properly, so that they match up with what we're doing in ProPresenter. So the first thing we're going to do now is we see that this is the last one. We're going to listen to it. Instrumental breakdown. That'll actually be our ending right there. So what I want to do is I'm going to zoom in on this, and you see right here is where it said instrumental, right? Well, over here, we're going to make it say something different. I'm going to click this little arrow right here. I'm going to go to Clicks and Cues, English Guides, and then I'm going to find the one that says ending. And I'm just going to drag it right over the top of that one. So now, when I play it, check that out. So we can do that. You can take out that breakdown section if you want to by just doing that. Because all we're going to do is once this is done, I'm going to click this and hit delete. And I'm going to do the same here. I'm going to click, I'm going to hold down my mouse, highlight just a few, hit delete, and then you can click that top where it says click track and then hit delete. So that's going to be the ending of our song right there. Now we need to edit some of the tracks so that they don't keep playing. We can see that this will stop. 3, 4. So you hear how that stops, but the song continues to go. You see all these tracks are still going down here. We need to get those to stop. And so the way that I like to do this is I'm going to zoom out just a little bit. And you can see everything's kind of dying down around this region right here, okay? So I'm going to highlight that little section. Again, all I did was click on a spot, hold the bottom left-hand corner of the mouse pad and highlight one section over, hit delete, and then boom. And I'm going to do that with all of these guys. One nice thing is you can also just kind of do it like this and highlight a few of them and then just delete them off, okay? Same thing here. We'll just drag it down a little and we'll get rid of all these tracks that we're not going to need anymore. So I've got that one selected. I'm going to hold shift, click that one and delete. Perfect. There it goes. It just deleted all those and that's where the song is going to end. But it looks a little abrupt how it's ending right there. So I'm going to take this little fader thing right there. All I did was hover over and you grab, again, bottom left-hand corner of your mouse pad, and you kind of drag it over. And I think I want to do it about right there, because that's going to be in line with that final slide cue, and we'll just see how that sounds, okay? And we're going to do that on all of our tracks here. So all I'm doing is hovering, click on the bottom left-hand corner and drag over, bottom left-hand corner, drag over, and we just have to do that with all of them. I haven't found, there might be now, but I haven't found a quicker way to maybe mass fade everything out. So we can, and they don't have to be perfect by any means, because the other song is going to start kicking off right towards the end of this, and the entire band is going to be fading out with these tracks. So as you can see, they all have that fade on them. So when I minimize that again, we can see and hear. So you hear how it just kind of fades out nicely. That's exactly what we want it to do. But I would really like my number 2 song to start right about there. So I'm going to find that number 2, and you can kind of see in here, there's a line there, so we can kind of guess that that's 2. I'm just going to grab that, again, bottom left-hand corner, drag that over, bottom left-hand corner, drag. We use that little cue a lot. And I'm going to put 2 right there for our slides. And I'm going to minimize that. Now I know this is where song number 2 is going to start, but remember, it's going to be playlist 4, and I'll show you why. So we'll go back to Planning Center here, go back to November 19th, and we can see, okay, this is playlist 1, playlist 2, playlist 3, song 2 is playlist 4. Okay, so we'll go back to Ableton here. And this little guy up in the upper left-hand corner, we open that again. Then we're going to come down to this one that says Ableton Live MIDI, okay? You do that, you pop that little opener, you pop that open there, and then you find this one that says Select Playlist. That's the one we want, and we want playlist number 4. So I'm just going to drag that over right onto that line, okay? So now everything that falls in that line right after this last slide plays on playlist 3, playlist 4 is going to kick off. So that's what we want there. All right, then we see over here, we've already told Ableton what we want this song to be. So song number 2 is Grace to Grace in the key of E. All right, so I'm going to go back to tracks and loops. Grace to Grace is by Hillsong. So I'm going to find Hillsong. And then all these songs in here, Grace to Grace is right there. Okay, and if you can't see, you want to see more, you can just highlight till you get this little guy right here. Again, hold the bottom left-hand corner and drag it out. You can see everything. Okay, so Grace to Grace is the key of E, which is right there. And I'm going to do that. We want our multi-tracks here. I'm going to drop that down. Okay, and where it says click track, here we go. We're going to start building this song now. So we're going to drag that in. I'm going to double tap where it says click track. All right. And I'm going to hit warp. The song is 60 beats per minute. I'm going to enter that. And then instead of follower, we want it to say leader. And what that's doing is everything that's underneath the track will now follow that 60 beats per minute when it starts right there. And then the second thing we do is find our guide, and we drag that right there. And we can check. 1, 2. So that is a weird click track. So instead of using that one, I'm going to delete the guide, and I'm going to delete this click. I have made a different click that sounds a little better, okay? So if you come down, you'll see this one. It says Grace to Grace, 60, okay? So I'm going to drag that over, and same thing, I'm going to hit warp, 60, enter, and then make follower say leader. I'm going to do the same with the cues because I made some custom cues to kind of help this out, and we'll see if this sounds better. 1, 2. So that sounds a little easier to follow than what we had before. 4. Okay, perfect. So I'm going to push number 2 just so it starts me back at my line there. I'm going to minimize the playlist because I don't need it right now. And now we're going to go into the multi-track section again of this key of E, and we're going to start at the top, hold shift and tap. Okay, now we're going to deselect the ones we don't want. So I'm going to hold command and click guide and click track and background vocals. Okay, and then I'm going to Again, holding Command, I'm going to click this, drag over, and then it's got to start right there. And I'm going to let go of the mouse, then I let go of Command. You can see all of our tracks are in here now. I'm going to click on that and just hit delete. There we go. And we've synced up everything. Okay. And so now you kind of see where the song ends right up here in our master view. So I'm going to tap it over there. We can see, yeah, it indeed ends around this area. So I'm going to 3, 4. So the song ends about right there. Okay. Now we can hear that it just kind of keeps going, some of those drums right there. I'm actually going to do what we did before. I'm just going to highlight and delete that. We can see that the next song is the key of G. E does not really play well with the key of G. So I'm going to actually delete some of these things and fade them out a little more, just like we did with Peace Be Still. And so again, you just highlight a little section and delete. Click up here, delete. I like to highlight and then just drag it down. It seems to go a little quicker if I do it that way. And I do that, hold shift, and then it highlights them all, then I can hit delete. All right, and then same thing, I'm gonna fade these out for a little bit, okay? So we'll go like this. Awesome. There we go. And just do that on all of them so that we have a really nice fade into the next song, and that now the keys of the songs won't clash. They don't match up in the circle of fifths well. If we're going from the key of E, good transitional keys would be the key of A, which is a fourth, or the key of B, which would be a fifth. And that would be a really nice transition. But that doesn't always happen, and that's okay. So that's why we use tools like fading and other things like that to try and make these transitions nicer. Now you can see this click just goes on forever. Everything. We're going to do the same thing. I'm going to hit delete here, and then delete, delete. Okay. And with the song ending right about there, I think I'm going to back this up a little. You see how I got that little bracket now? And I just hold and drag over. And then right there is where I'm going to find number 3, which will probably be right in this section. So I'm going to drag this over, grab number 3, kind of drag it close, zoom in, and yeah, we're going to put it right there. And that's where gratitude is now going to start, okay? So we want to find gratitude, which we do the worship initiative version. To way to see that, we can click on gratitude right here, and you can see the version we're doing is a worship initiative, okay? So we're going to keep that version in the key of G, come back to Ableton, and you find gratitude, 78, and it's the key of G, which is right here. You can see right there, multi-tracks. Okay, now before I do this, I know that this song is in 6/8 time signature. It's not in 4/4. So right above number 3, you've got your little speaker here. I'm going to take 2 of my fingers and just tap lightly on the mouse pad. And you can insert a time signature change here. And so I'm going to do 6/8. It's going to put this song in 6/8 for us now, and everything is going to follow according to suit. So again, rinse and repeat. Here we go. Hold the bottom left-hand corner, drag this over, okay? Double tap, click track, you hit warp, 78, enter, and leader. There we go. Here's a guide, and we'll make sure, just hit spacebar to play. Cool, so that's all lining up nicely. Now we can find our tracks, okay? I'll hold shift, and then hold command to deselect, I don't want alto or the choir. Perfect, okay. So I'm gonna drag these over. Now I'm gonna hold command, let go of my mouse, and then let go of the command key. And it drops all of those in for me. Okay, I'm gonna click here, just delete my extra tracks. If you ever accidentally delete an extra one, just hit Command Z and it'll put it right back for you. So, okay, now same thing. You see, wow, the song ends right in this area, but that click keeps going. So I'm just going to highlight that, delete, and then we're going to scoot over a little bit. So So the song ends right about in there. So I'm going to delete that, delete. Okay, now we see the next song is C. That's a great song to transition into as far as keys go. So C would be the fourth, D would be the fifth of the key of G. So they're going to transition very nicely into one another. So I'm not going to fade any of this here. And I'm just going to drop my number 4 song, which you can see, again, is right about here. I'm going to drag this over, drag this over, and then if you click and drag it down towards you, it zooms in. Perfect. We can see we just dragged that right there. Now, Give Me Jesus is in 4/4 time, I believe. A good way to check that, you click here. You can click into the song itself, and then you can look at the meter right there, 4/4 time. Perfect. Okay, so go back to Ableton Live. We do, I believe it is, yes, Give Me Jesus. It is the Worship Initiative version in the key of C. Okay, so right there. And multi-tracks right there. Okay, and we see I labeled it 72 beats per minute. So after we change it back to 4/4 time, 4/4, now I'm going to drag my click track in. I'm going to hit warp, and it's 72, hit enter. Instead of follower, you go leader, okay? And I'm going to drag the guide over, same thing, check. 1, 2. Yep, that's all lining up, sounds good. Okay, so now, zoom in just a little more here. Now I'm going to highlight all of these. I hold shift to highlight them all, hold command to deselect the stuff you don't want. I'm going to drag this right over. Now hold command, let go of your mouse pad, let go of command. And then you find down here and just delete those. Okay, so now looks like we have all of our tracks in. And we can come to the end here. Whoa, that looks weird, doesn't it? So we're going to take our click here and just drag that all the way over. Sometimes when we warp it, it does weird things like that, but that is okay. It's going to keep everything in line for us. Now, finally, I have one. I know we don't have a song number 5, but I have a number 5 here to help mark the automatic stop. And you can see that's way over here. So if you click on this, you see it highlights the whole thing. I'm going to hit Command X. And what that does is that cuts it from there. So I'm going to push 5. It's going to start me on the line, then Command V, or you could go Edit, Paste, okay? And it adds that right there. So same thing right there, and it'll just automatically stop our tracks for Sunday. So you don't have to worry about anything like that. Okay, that is how we build all of our songs. We've done some of that. We need to go back and now find our playlists and our slides here. Okay, so actually first I want to find the slides for Grace to Grace. So we're going to come back here to Safari and see, okay, there's Grace to Grace. I click on that, click on the linked song name. And once that loads, we can scroll down and see, okay, the last time we did it was October 29th. And so first things first, I'm going to go to this Command S and save my set, okay? And so I've already forgotten the date, so we'll go back. October 29th is where we're going to be. So I can go here Sunday 2023, scroll down to that date, double click to open, and it's going to open the set. And all we're going to have to do is find which number it was, 4. So I push 4 on my keyboard. It lines me up here. I'm going to push 4 so I'm in the right area. But I do not want to copy this slide 35, so I'm just going to hold, drag it over for now, hit 4 again, and then I'm going to squeeze all this out all the way. I'm going to hold shift and the right arrow key to start highlighting all of these slides. And once they're all highlighted, then I can zoom in, make sure everything's good. Yeah, everything looks great. I'm going to hit Command C to copy, or again, Edit and copy works. Then File, Open a recent set, and you come down to 1119. That's the set we're building right now. Click Don't Save on the October 29th set. Okay, so I'm going to click here. I'm going to push 2 and then Command V to paste it. And so now all of our slides will line up just right for um, that song. Now, let's say we did have a set where this one ended and it was right here. All you would need to do is just drag playlist 4 over, because you can see it's going to hit that first, then playlist 4, okay? You don't want it to hit the playlist before your other song is over, or it's going to try to throw you to slide 36 on your second song here, okay? So you do that, and then that's looking good. So we'll go to the end. Oh, perfect, just like this, okay. And so we can see that that song's doing it. So I'm gonna hit Command S to save. Now we need to find the last time we did gratitude. So let's go back to plans on the 19th. And we're gonna click gratitude, click the name there, and then we're going to scroll down. It's going to show us the last times that we did it. So October 1st was the last Sunday that we did it. So I'm going to find that set again in our Finder. So Sunday, 2023, October 1st, double click. Okay, and gratitude was the third song. So I'm going to push 3. I'm going to make sure I'm up here, and I'm going to push 3 again. I'm going to drag this out so I can see the entire song. Hold shift and then hold the right arrow key to highlight all these, and then let go. Oops, I went a little too far. So I'm going to hold shift and then hit the back arrow. Okay, now you can go edit, copy again, or Command C. I enjoy the shortcuts. I'm going to open recent set, and again, we're going to go to November 19th. Okay. And let's see, I'm going to drag this over just for now. I'm going to hit Command Paste. Okay. And so if that one ends right there, we could actually pull that one over a little bit, but we also need to add in our playlist. Okay, so Command S, just because it's always good to save. And we're going to see what playlist is gratitude. So let's go back to the 19th. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gratitude is playlist 5. Okay, so open this little arrow here. You can come to Ableton Live MIDI, okay? And in your playlist section, we're going to find 5. We're going to drag it right onto this. But you see, there's going to be an issue here because slide 49 is trying to play at the same time as that. Not a big deal. All you got to do is drag this over a little bit. Now, these little black dots, those are your MIDI notes. They're not going to overlap, and it's going to be just fine. So now this song will finish, slide 49. Ableton Live will move Pro Presenter to song 3, which is playlist 5, and then slide 1 will kick over. So not a bad thing at all. Okay, we can move that over, just play with it a little bit, however we see fit. So that's a good way to learn that. Okay, now I'm going to hit 4. See, okay, and 4 takes this in. You can see the black box here is not over on this side though, so we don't have to worry about it. All we got to do, just drag that over, just so it looks a little cleaner. Okay, and now we need to find, okay, if that last one was playlist 5, this one will be playlist 6. So I'm going to put that there, and then we're going to find Give Me Jesus. So after you hit Command S to save, come back to Safari, Give Me Jesus, click the song, and then okay. So July 23rd was the last time we did it on a Sunday. So I'm going to look for that service. So Sunday 2023, July 23rd, right there. And it'll open that set, and we will find Give Me Jesus, which was song 4. So I'm going to hit 4. Again, click up here in the slide section, hit 4. Drag this over. Shift, I'm going to hold that right arrow. So it drags all that over there. Okay. And I'm going to zoom in, just make sure I got everything. Yeah, it looks like I did. Okay. Command C, or again, edit, copy, whatever you like best. Open recent set, 11:19. Okay, and then I'm going to go here, push number 4, and then Command V for paste. So that's how that goes. And then just making sure, yeah, so we could even drag that over a little bit if we wanted to, not a big deal, as long as it hits this before it hits this. I hope that makes sense. And then I'm going to push number 5 just to see where everything went. Yeah, it looks like that'll be our ending cue. Yep, 4, 1, there. So it'll end on that final slide like that. Okay, so we just did slides and playlists. If there was ever a slide that was missing or something you needed to edit, I have a file for that as well. You click this, and instead of select playlist, you can select whatever slide number that you need. So inside of the playlist in ProPresenter, each individual slide has a number on it, and that number is what's going to be queued up. So if we needed, let's look at the end. So 36 was here, but let's say we needed slide 37 as well, right? So we'll go right there, and then you can scroll down, find slide 37, just drag it up like that. That's how we would do that. Pretty simple little deal there. So I'll just put all that back, and we're gonna minimize that out, close those. Okay, so we've built our clicks, our cues, our tracks, our playlist, our slides. Now we need to do our lighting. So I'm gonna hit Command S. Okay, and the way I like to do lighting is that it comes in right on, this would be like number 1 right here. So after 1, 2, 3, 4, boom, the lights will come on for song 1. And so again, I'm going to come over here, and inside of this Ableton Live MIDI, you make that go down. I have this folder here called lighting, and I put all these lighting cues in here so they're just drag and drop. So I'm going to grab song 1, boom, put it right there. I'm going to hit 2, and it's going to take me to the end. When we hit this last slide, I would like for those prayer lights to come on just because they're a little softer, and that'll be a nice transition point, okay? So that, and then we've got, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1. So 1 would technically be right here. So I'm going to drag, because song 2 is going to start, so I'm going to drag it right there. And then I'm going to hit 3, and that last one is right there. See slide 49. Okay, I'm just going to line those up. So not a big deal. And that playlist 5 can actually stay there. And then we see that 1, the downbeat of 1 is going to be right here. So 4, 5, 6, 1. So you see how it's going to be right there. That's song 3. So I'm just going to drag song 3 right there. Okay. Then I'm going to hit 4, and it's going to show us our last slide. Again, prayer lights. I'm going to just drag right there and shorten them up just to make it look clean. Okay. And then 2, 3, 4, 1. So right there. Okay. That'll be song 4. And then I'm going to push 5 to show me the last slide. And I'm going to put the prayer light right there. So I call them prayer lights just because that's usually when we pray, and they're a lot softer lights. So yeah, all these other ones are just special ones I had built for like Good Friday and all that. Don't need to worry about that right now. And we can minimize that. And voila, all of our light cues are built now too. So you can just minimize. And I'm just going to delete that. You don't need to worry about that. And everything should be good to go. All you need to do now is see what instruments that you have for Sunday so that you can mute your tracks, the ones that you don't need. So I'm going to click on Sunday service and on Teams, and see, okay, we have acoustic guitar, drums. We don't have bass, so we'll leave that in. We have electric guitar and piano. Okay, so I'm going to go back to here, and acoustic, we need bass guitar, so I'm leaving that in. Drums, and we have 1 electric guitar, so I'm going to take out this EG1 right here, but I'm going to leave the others for now. And if the guitarist, which is Dave in this sense, if he wants different ones on or off, then we can just work with him in that. This piano I'm going to leave. I think piano 2 has a different sound. Let's listen. Maybe we'll leave that one on. And I'm going to hit this S to solo it so we can hear it a little easier when it fires up right here. So kind of a nice little trill. So I think I'm going to leave that in the back, and we'll leave the synth bass on. Okay, I'm going to scroll to the top. I'm going to push 2 to go to song 2. Take out the acoustic and the drums. Same thing, electric guitar 1 I'll take out. Piano I'll take out. And we can leave the others 3. I'm going to take out this acoustic, but I'm going to leave acoustic 2 in because I think it has a different tone than mine. So let's listen to what we have here. Maybe we'll check this other one. So actually, what I think I want to do is leave that acoustic guitar in. I'm going to mute this one, and I'm actually going to delete the first part here because I'm going to play that part. So I'm just going to delete that, and I can have that fade in. So I'll do that again so you can see how I did it. So right about there. So I'm going to play all of this stuff here. So I'm just going to hit delete, and I'm going to cover that. And then we're going to mute acoustic 2. So those are the parts I kind of want to play. So I'm just going to do that. I'm going to leave the bass in, turn the drums off. EG1 will turn off, and piano I will turn off. And we'll look at song 4. Okay, we'll turn the drums off, EG1, and piano. Okay, but we've got a couple acoustic guitars here, so let's try and listen to these and see what we have. 1, 2. I'm going to hit solo so I can hear them. So truth be told, I probably wouldn't be that good at playing that part. So I'm just going to mute acoustic 2 and leave that one in for now. So now it's going to have a nice full sound. Okay, I pushed 1, take me back to the beginning, Command S, and we've saved it. Congratulations, you just built an Ableton set for Sunday morning. Now, here's the fun part. You can go File, Save Live Set As, and we're going to figure out which set we're going to have for Celebrate Recovery now. Okay, so I'm going to go CR 2023, and then we are going to come down to here. Oops, take me to the top. There we go. And CR is going to be on November 21st. Okay, so I'm going to come back over here. Looks like the same songs. And so I'm going to go 11/21, but we're going to save it inside of our Good Friday set, or I'm sorry, our Celebrate Recovery set here. Save. And that way, if we need to make changes to keys or tracks or anything, we can do that through this way. So I believe, so now see it says the 21st, we have a bass player for Celebrate Recovery on that date. Ed's going to be playing there. We don't have piano though, so I'm going to make sure I leave all the piano on, but I'm going to turn all the bass off. So we'll go back here and now turn the bass off. And we're going to turn the piano on. Okay, so now we're getting the set ready for Tuesday night as well. It's kind of a double header here. So let's see, we'll turn that piano. Some of the synth bass kind of overdoes the bass guitar, so I'm actually going to go back to Peace Be Still and turn that one off too. Especially when you have a good bass player, they really don't need that extra help. So we're going to turn those off, turn that piano on. Okay, and then 4, turn that bass off, and we're going to turn the piano on. Now, I might want the piano a little louder in some of these songs, so where it says 0 here, I'm just going to push the up arrow until about 3. The highest it can go is 6, but it can go super low on the other end. It's pretty much just modeling what a soundboard would do. So it'll go all the way down to like 70, but I'm going to put it at 3. So you can even just click on it and type the number you want. So I typed 4 and then enter, 3, and then enter. Peace Be Still has a lot of good piano in it that's very needed. So I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm just going to go 3. And Grace to Grace is the same way. So on piano, I'm going to type 3 and enter. And then Gratitude, might as well do the same. We'll keep those keys pretty even throughout the set. Okay, I've done that. Now the last thing I like to do is find the loud part of a song, listen to that, and I'm going to double click this section here inside of our track stacks, okay? And I'm going to double click that. You see it pulls up this glue compressor here, okay? That glue compressor just takes everything and molds it together really beautifully. And so I'll show you how to run this. So we're going to take this threshold. I'm just going down until that arrow hits about 5. So right about in there. And then the makeup is going to be 5. So we're taking out, well, we're letting it go up until 5, and then we do a makeup of 5. And it really just brings everything together inside of the track so it doesn't sound too awkward. It sounds like actual instruments on stage. It's a nice thing. Okay, then we're going to double tap this. We go to this one now. And same thing, I want to listen to about right here so I can see it's loud. Click that, arrow down.
Bridge.
Okay, it's about 5, pretty close. So I'm going to hit 5 there. I'm going to minimize these things. Double click on gratitude. And we're going to see it's kind of loud right in here.
Bridge. Build.
So about right there is pretty good. So 5. And again, those compressors just really bring everything together, just make everything sound tighter and more legit. So we're going to look at about right here.
Tag.
So about right there. Okay. Awesome, we've done that. Okay, so we did that for our CR set. I'm going to hit Command S to save. And then we're going to go back to our Sunday set and do the same thing with the glue compressor. Okay, so again, I'm going to double tap that section, open that track stack just so I can see the loudest parts of the song. Usually, if you click on the drum parts, you can see, okay, if the drums are loud, the rest of the band's going to be loud. So it's going to be right in this area, and I'm going to click that again. Drag that down. So about right there is pretty good. Okay. And then minimize song 2. Double click that, open it up. And we're going to see where are them loud drums at. Probably around this area. Yep, right in there. Do that. Oop, I lost it, so I'll just click here again. And arrow down. So it's writing about the 5.
Bridge.
So right in there, and I'll go 5. And it just melds all that together. Song 3. I'll double click here. And then we'll find loud drums again. So about right there is pretty good. So, okay. Minimize, and then song 4. I think it was towards the end. We really had, yeah, it was right in this area.
Vamp. Build. Chorus. Full band.
Even kind of equalizes the tracks in the house, so that'll be a nice section to keep there. It makes them a little easier to run for the sound engineer. Okay, we have done all of our tracks. I'm going to hit 1 and Command S. We've saved everything. That's all you need to know about how to build tracks. Hope you enjoyed it.